All right, and we are live. So this is Jason Hull here with the DoorGrow Show, and I'm hanging out with Nathan Miller of Rentec Direct. And Nathan, tell us a little bit about you and your background, and then let's get into Rentec Direct, and I want to hear about it.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Jason. It's exciting to be here, and just chat with you. This is great. A little bit about me and Rentec. Rentec formed, back in like 2007 because I personally saw a need to make property. Well, at that time, it was make landlords' lives simpler. I was managing properties myself, my own properties, and I got a handful of them, and once I got 5 or 6 properties under my belt, I felt like I was just overloaded in paper. My shoebox, per se of receipts was overloaded, and there was no possibility of me finding a receipt from 2005 from Home Depot if I had to. So my
Right.
background is in software development, and at that time I went and I checked. I looked at what applications were out there because I just knew there had to be something that would help me as a landlord be more efficient and keep track of who owes me money and maintenance on my rentals. So I searched, and QuickBooks wasn't going to cut it, and any other products that were out there, like the big property management softwares, Yardi and RealPage and stuff, they were definitely cost prohibitive for someone my size. And I couldn't find anything that was satisfactory for me. So being a software developer, I went ahead and decided to write something. And I started with me as a template and wrote a software that would help me manage 5 rentals at the time. While I was writing it, I grew my rentals, turned into 7 and 8. But as I was writing it, I decided to also make it available to other landlords that were in my same position. Since I couldn't find software out there that would help me, I assumed that there had to have been other landlords that had the same problem. So I just made it an application that anyone could use, completely free. And it wasn't pretty. The first version of Rentec was pretty darn ugly. It's come a long ways since, but we amassed in just a couple of years' time, and this is just me working on it on the back end and maybe answering a few emails here and there. We got almost 600 landlords using the software, and that turned into a huge group of clients at the time, free, but clients that were giving me excellent feedback as to what this program could do for them. And ended up, this is around 2009 now, I formed the company, hired a few people, created a development team, and we started developing all this stuff that everyone wanted and turned it into a real company. And since then, it was originally designed for landlords, and we've had a lot of response from property managers since then. So a couple years later, we introduced Rentec PM, which adds trust accounting and adding property managers and enhanced permissions into the system to support them as well. And it's 2017 now, and we've come a long ways. The software is beautiful. It works really well. We've got over 13,000 clients using it, and we're really happy where we're at.
That is really cool. So we
Thanks.
hear a lot of big names all the time, right?
Yeah.
So usually I'm hearing Propertyware, Appfolio, Buildium. And so I'm guessing that most of the audience hearing this will be wondering, okay, how do you differentiate? What's different between, these other platforms, and why should somebody pick Rentec Direct?
Sure. Okay. So, and you're right, for property managers of the size we typically deal with, we don't compete with Yardi and RealPage so much, but we do hear Buildium and Appfolio, very commonly. Those come up, and we, share customers, trade customers, because our application compared to theirs, the feature set of actually all three are excellent softwares, and the feature sets are very similar in a lot of respects. All the core features exist for maintaining your rentals and doing proper accounting. All 3 systems, and including Propertyware, I have less experience with theirs, but I'm assuming theirs also has all the core features built into it. But I think where we really shine, and why someone might relate with our company better than some of the others, is we are number 1 and will always be number 1 for customer support. If you go online, for example, and you search for property management software reviews, we're at the top of every chart. Our clients just fall in love with us when they call and they talk to someone and they find out that we can help them. We're based in the U.S. We not only know the software really well, but we know their business really well. And a huge reason for that is when we're hiring both for our sales team and our customer support team, we're hiring people who have been in the industry instead of just anyone off the street to fill a seat. We do a very in-depth interview, and we definitely favor someone who's been in the property management industry. So we get a lot of calls. People will call and ask us things that aren't really related to the software, but they might be related to the business. And 9 times out of 10, we can help them with that too. So we're going to keep doing that. We have absolutely no intention on changing that. So that's probably, that's the first thing that comes to mind. A few other things though is we don't have any setup fees. People can come in, they can sign up for a free trial. They have no setup fees and no contracts with our company. We built Rentec Direct with the idea in mind that we're going to re-earn our clients' business every single month. And if for any reason they don't like us, or the software is now not working for them, or they have a need maybe that that we don't serve, then we're definitely not going to hold them to it. And because everybody's on a month-to-month with us with no terms, there's zero risk in anyone trying our software.
I love that idea that we re-earn their business every single month. That's
yeah, I do too. I just feel like, and I wish every company was like that. But I know, some companies can't, they have stockholders and, demands on their pricing, and they need those contracts. But that's, we don't have, it's another thing that is not feature related, but I feel like when I talk with an owner of a property management firm, most property management firms, they don't start with millions of dollars of investment. They, start with, a couple properties that, maybe their uncle wanted them to run, and they decided to do it full time. And then eventually they hired another person, another person, another person, but they did it all on their own. And it was either their own cash that they put into it, or it was, hard-earned work that just got them to grow. And we've done the same thing. We're a very scrappy, bootstrapped company that we've grown 100% organically from day one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of other people telling you how to run your business. You don't have investors. And since you're bootstrapped, your company is probably profitable.
Absolutely. We're quite profitable. And I would say we're, if you had to look at the 4 companies we're talking about, they're kind of in our space.
Yeah, that's a differentiator.
It's huge. I would say because of that, we are quite profitable. We don't have massive expenses, and we have nobody, telling us how to run our company other than our clients. We listen to our clients, and we develop for them and run our company for them. It's all about, to me personally, it's about our clients and our employees. And I want both of them to have the most stellar experience of their lives if they're using our application.
Great. Love it. So you have fantastic support staff, no setup fees, free trial. You're already profitable, and you bootstrapped your company starting out.
Yes.
You're not investor backed.
No.
So your number one priority is actually doing what you say, which is re-earning their business every single month and pleasing your constituents, your clients. So these are all really cool differentiators. Now, as far as like your software platform and how that works, one of the biggest challenges I've noticed with software, like the number one challenge with software, is adoption, right?
Yes.
And what that means for those listening, the number one challenge with software is adoption. What that means is just getting people to use the actual software, like making it easy and making sure it's intuitive, onboarding it. And the number one differentiator, whether a company loves or hates their software, is usually just ease of use, just how easy it is to use. So how do you feel your software kind of compares in terms of ease of use and being easy to use?
Uh, Excellent question. I think I actually love talking about this because we're almost 10 years into the company, and I'm still directly involved with a lot of the development that happens. And where my involvement happens is usually in finalizing the finished product before it goes out to our clients. And a passion I have is saving people time. And it started with me 10 years ago, needing to save some time, and it carries through to today. And when we're developing a feature, one of my demands on us as a company is that feature be the most efficient way that a property manager can do it. And like a good example to kind of, I guess, portray how this works is I recently saw, a video, some other company in our space released a video about their brand new way to pay their owners.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool, this it's good because every property manager spends a ton of time paying owners. And I watched the video, and it took about, in this demonstration video that was, explaining how amazing the feature was, it took them about 3 minutes to go through and pay one owner. And I said, wow, that's that's insane. If you have 100 owners, or if you have 500 owners, you're spending a ton of time doing that. So when we developed that feature, we went through it, and we went through probably 15 revisions to turn that process into about 15 seconds per owner instead of 3 minutes. And what that means, for property managers is, instead of hiring 5 people to handle the finances, they're hiring 1.
Yeah.
And that's a huge cost savings for any property management firm. So that's a good example of just one feature and how we look at every feature when we deploy it. But
Yeah.
Rentec
And,
Direct
and
also.
I'll point out that's the hidden cost. That's the hidden cost of getting cheap software, right? The hidden cost is that cost gets pushed onto the shoulders of staff. And so a really stupid thing a business owner can do is say, hey, I'm going to save a few $100 on software on a monthly basis,
Mm-hmm.
and then turn around and hire somebody.
You nailed it. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We've thought this through a lot. And we did this from the beginning, is we designed our application to work more like an application than a website. You'll notice most software as a service companies in our space and otherwise, when you go to do a task, you're usually clicking on something, then you'll click into a subsection of that, and you'll have, lots of clicks to get where you want. And I didn't like that at the very beginning of this. Is like, I don't want this to really feel like a web application, because websites are quite inefficient if you're working in them every day and trying to get work done. So we designed ours more like an application. And probably the easiest way to demonstrate that is, if you look at like a list of properties or tenants within Rentec Direct, you can right click on anything, and you have like instant access to all the, pay, receive a payment, post an expense, everything that you want to do with one click, you can do it instead of going through, 1 or 2 different menus to get there. And we've noticed that just, the end result is it saves a lot of time.
Yeah. So another challenge I've heard about some of the other software platforms is the accounting. I mean, the accounting not being as robust, or them having to put everything into a whole nother system. Some companies that are using some of these different software platforms, some of your competitors, are hiring third-party companies just to do all the bookkeeping and keep all the records and everything like kind of intact. So maybe you can touch on the accounting side of the software, because that's actually given rise to a couple of other software vendors that are competing with some of the big players.
Yeah.
Just the accounting piece.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a big question, that is very relevant. I would say most property management software applications, Rentec Direct included, we're focused on accounts receivable more than we are accounts payable.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that exceedingly well, and that flows through into, the tenant's experience, of paying online and everything. And that gives us, we have we're in the accounts receivable very deep, in that we we reach out and provide tools that some of like the larger accounting packages, QuickBooks or SAP or something, can't provide. They don't. They're much too broad service. So what we've done is we've provided a direct synchronization to QuickBooks, because there's both some accountants and some property management firms that they need to use QuickBooks. It's just like they demand QuickBooks is the familiar thing, and they demand it. So what we did, instead of saying no, you have to do it our way, we say you can do all your accounts receivable through Rentec, your property maintenance, you get your owner portal and your tenant portal, you get all this really cool stuff that makes you stand out as a property manager. But since maybe we're not super strong on the payable side, you can interface and just copy all that information to QuickBooks. You can do it, we have reports that can do it. You can do a export, or we have a direct synchronization utility, which copies the data in automatically. So we've covered it that way rather than going through and deviating. Like we're so client driven, and we've got this feature request list that's probably 300 features long, and we do what most people want, and accounts payable hasn't really risen to the top. So when it does, we might add that in, but right now we want to do what we do really, really well.
Yeah, great. Sounds like you're doing that. So so what else should people know about Rentec Direct if they're looking or at their current software and they're frustrated and they're kind of getting fed up with it? What else do you feel are you getting asked a lot on your sales calls and on these conversations where people are asking about your software?
Okay. Most people ask us, will you pick up the phone if I call?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest the biggest question we get when people call us. And of course the answer is yes. We will continue to do that, and we'll continue to have the best support team out there. We another thing we just did recently is we added live chat. We did it to our website first, and now we've added it in our application. And this is, I was, I didn't know how that was going to work at first, but it's actually turned out to be amazing, because a lot of people, myself included, if I have a quick question, I'll just, I would much rather click, chat, ask my quick question, get the answer, and then move on with my day, rather than a phone call seems high maintenance to me. And some people feel the same way. So we added that option so people can ask quick questions. So support wise, if you're having any challenges with support with what you're doing right now, you wouldn't have that challenge here. And the other things, I could probably say is trying out our software. We've eliminated all barriers. It's 100% risk-free in so many different levels. Because we offer a free trial, you can try out the software without paying us a penny. We don't require a contract, so even if you get through that trial, you've started using the software, you've started paying us, and it doesn't work out 2 months later, you can get out. And then I have a personal commitment that every time, when we started charging for this back in 2009, what I said is, if we're going to charge $1, I want to save them 10. And if we can't do that, if you can't sign up and use Rentec Direct, and if you pay us $1, I want you saving 10 somewhere. It's going to be your tax preparation. You're going to get more owners. You're going to have less vacancies. So that's like my commitment to all of our clients. So we're just here to provide a really amazing experience to everybody. And in some ways, everybody has their own flavor of how they work and what they need. And a lot of clients come to us because they have a pain point. And honestly, most people that come to us aren't using anything. They're still using a spreadsheet, or and not able to provide online payments, or they want to be able to provide online payments because their younger tenants demand it. So those are services that we definitely provide, and I'd love to show them off.
Cool. So related to that, switching is really painful. Switching property management software, Right. So how would somebody, what's the process like? Because a lot of people listening to this may already have property management software. Hopefully my audience is fairly tech savvy and they've got something going on. So uh, maybe you can touch on that just a little bit. Like how difficult is it to switch from Appfolio or Buildium or Propertyware? And what does that sort of look like?
Okay, you bet. It's a big decision, and if you make the decision, it is a time investment. And what we do to help anyone coming from a different platform is we offer free migrations. So we'll take that data, we'll put it in our system, and we'll all you have to do, for example, you take one of those platforms, you export out the properties and you export out the tenants, and more or less you provide us spreadsheet data is usually how it comes out, and we'll import that into the system for free. If there are some more complex cases where the data can't be exported, and uh, and it does require a lot of manual work, and we do have some specialists here that do that, and we do it really efficiently. But if it's going to take a huge amount of time to manually do the process, what we tend to do with that is we'll also do that, and that's probably the only instance where we might charge an upfront fee. But what we do is we credit the entire fee back to the subscription. So in effect, it ends up being zero cost also. So what I would advise, like anyone who is having challenges with their current software and they can't work it out with their current company, I first want all of our clients to try to work it out with us if they did have an issue first. I would say that's your first step. And second, try out the software. Definitely make sure it's going to work for you. Try out the trial. Get in there, make sure it looks good and works for your processes. And if it's us that you're trying, then contact us and show us your data, and we'll tell you exactly how we can help you move it.
Fantastic. I mean, I've heard of people spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to tackle migrations, and so the fact that you're even helping with part of that is a big deal. So the so other questions I had, I think a big trend with software lately is integrations, and you had mentioned QuickBooks, which is awesome. Do you guys have an API? Yeah, or is this a plan for you guys to have some sort of open API? Because that's something I've heard as a complaint about some of these other guys is they have no API. They're a closed garden and they don't play nice with anybody else.
That's very true. We've noticed that in a few migrations, most of the software out there doesn't want people to leave. So getting the data out can be challenging. We figured out ways, but you're exactly right there. For APIs, we do have, we're in the process of improving it right now. Also, we have an outbound API and it's not complete. At this point, it's not complete because it doesn't export everything. But what the purpose of it today is exporting property and tenant data into inspection applications. You have those mobile inspection applications where you can go out and take pictures and do a quick inspection of a property. And we export that data into those systems. And that's a good chunk of the data, the property and the tenant data. Doesn't include the accounting data right now or vendor data, but we're getting there. And I would anticipate, as our clients ask for more integrations like that, we'll just do nothing but expand upon it.
Awesome. Any plans of maybe inbound API, like if they're using some sort of property management, like maintenance coordination, or they're using, scheduling software for vacant rentals. I mean, these are some of the tools that property managers are doing to offhand their time. And I know that Appfolio has kind of started to step into that space. Or are these features that you guys are offering?
We don't have an inbound API at the moment. And, the reason for that is we're very demand focused on what our clients have asked for. And that hasn't come up a lot. And if it does, I would say we're very capable of doing it. And if there's some good applications out there that people want to do a bi-directional synchronization or something with, that's something we're certainly open to and capable of doing.
Okay, that is cool because others are not. So that'll be really great. And I'll connect you with some that I think would be really fantastic.
Yeah, that would be
So,
great.
all right. So some of the software that are out there, there's some property management software that are like on a computer, right? Like some old Yardi systems. There's
Yes.
some that are, and a lot of them are cloud based. There's even some that are VPN based, which is really weird. Is yours VPN based, cloud based, software based, so that people kind of understand how are they getting into this application software that you have?
Yep. Ours is cloud-based. You can access Rentec Direct from anywhere on the internet as long as you have an internet connection. So anywhere in the world, you can use our application. We're not even blocked by the Great Firewall of China. So, so you can get to us anywhere. All you need is a web browser. You can log in. It's also mobile optimized, so your tenants, they can log in and make payments, and they don't have to zoom and pinch and everything. It fits their screen really well. Owners and tenants can log in and use that really easy on mobile devices, since that's more common for them. And although we're based here in Grants Pass, it's where all of our staff is. It's a beautiful place to live. Not the most technical place for like server farms and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
so what we do, the data is cloud hosted. It's online. We make use of some of the cloud providers like Amazon and such out there to have very high reliability no matter where in the world someone is. And
Smart.
we also go a step beyond that. It was if you were on the internet a couple days ago, you noticed half the internet was offline.
Yep.
And
Yeah, there was the Amazon
oh, it's terrible. It was terrible.
Web
And
Services was having an outage.
yeah, if you use online software as a service products, you might have experienced that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy with the way we've designed Rentec and the redundancies that are in it, using, having it distributed around the world and not relying on one single service like some of those sites that went down did.
Mm-hmm.
We had zero outage, and we just have a stellar, amazing uptime, and it's just exciting. I was happy we didn't receive any calls when everyone else was having trouble.
Yeah, we got quite a few calls about propertyware and some other software during that outage, which was
uh,
frustrating for us as a business because it's not even our software, but it impacts part of their website, right?
yeah.
So cool. So, does your software have the ability? Do you have the ability for a company like ours to take one of your clients and build a website for them and put in the rental listings into the site, either via iframe or JavaScript or some sort of code snippet or widget?
Absolutely. There's a couple ways that could be done today. Right now, we actually, with every one of our clients, we provide them a free website and free
Mm-hmm.
property listings page, and that just comes with any Rentec subscription. You get that, and
Cool.
as also part of that, and this is also part of that API we were just talking about, you can export your properties and all the details of those properties in XML to pull into any custom website also. So
Okay.
whether you're a really tech savvy, website designer, and you want to show the data embedded inside your website using that XML feed, you can do that. Or if you just want to be simple and link to a fully featured website that we provide you already, you can do that. Either way.
And then do you also have maybe a stripped down version of the page that can be leveraged just via an iframe so that the data is actual real time from the server instead of just via the feed?
You definitely can. It's the listing page itself. We've
Mm-hmm.
had clients, put it into an iframe, and it does it, and then it loads the data right off from our server real time, and it gives it to them, and they can put, their header on the top and their listings right in the middle, and their footer fits right
Cool.
into their page.
That's nerdy stuff that probably only
Totally
I
nerdy.
care about. But all
Some
right,
people do.
so yeah, so this has been really helpful. It's really cool. You'll have to give me a tour of the Rentec software sometime so I
I
can
would love to.
see it. I'd love to see it because I get a lot of questions about property management software from my clients. And everybody listening, how can they get a hold of you guys or check you guys out?
Yeah, well, easiest way to find us is just go to our website. It's rentecdirect.com. Of course, all of our contact information's up there. We've got some product demos that are up there, so you can watch a few quick videos to get a really good grasp of the stuff that's in the software. And while you're up there, since you're in the industry, if you click over to the blog, one thing that we're focused on and we do a lot of is helping our property managers that use our software and property managers in general do a better job and be more competitive than the property manager next door. And up on our blog, we have a ton of educational resources that are up there that will give you tips whether you use Rentec Direct or not. We're just always pumping them out, so you can check that out too.
Cool. Then we'll need to do some collaboration on some future stuff.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that'd be fun. All right, cool. Well, Nathan, appreciate you taking the time out of your day and hanging out here with me on the DoorGrow show and telling us about Rentec Direct. And those of you listening, as you heard, you can check them out at rentecdirect.com. And Rentec is spelled RENTEC, and then direct, DIRECT.com, and check that out. And again, Nathan, thank you.
Thanks, Jason.